Hey Squishies! Back again with another vlog. This is Gravity Falls Season 2, Episode 12, A Tale of Two Stans. And this was basically a big backstory dump. It basically answers everything, except for what's the deal with Bill Cipher. This answers everything. What Stan's been up to all this time, why Gravity Falls is so strange, the author of the journals, what that thing in the basement does. McGuckin's story is completely fleshed out. Everything. I did notice there were still some interesting little hints for possible other developments. One of the big ones I noticed is that the cold open of the episode, when Stan and Ford come to the boarded up cave. In the first shot, it looks like a triangle with an eye near the bottom. When it's next shown, you can see that what looked like an eye is actually a heart. Like people draw on whatever random surfaces they can find, teenagers on dates or whatever. Then when Stan punches it, he creates a triangular opening, an upside-down triangle. So that's our dose of paranoid viewing for the day. Bill Cipher had something to do with them finding that cave in that boat, possibly. Or it's just a visual nod. Either or. Paranoid readings aside, first of all, J.K. Simmons. I love J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons is great, and he really brings a lot to the character of Ford, brings a lot of personality to him immediately. Right from the start, we know this is someone who is a lot more rigid than Stan. He's a lot more, he gets angry a lot easier. He's more given to shouting. Like, this is all things Simmons brings to the character immediately that we can pick up on practically from the beginning. Stan does get angry at times, but he's more of a grudge holder than a shouter. And he's definitely not someone who lives by any kind of rigid rules. He's, a cheat and a liar and sloppy and slovenly and, much, much more disorganized, and those are all negative sides of it, but he's also someone who I think is probably more lenient, more forgiving, more open to change, all of which I think factors into the conflict with Ford, because Ford comes back and sees all these things that have changed. He has grandniece and grandnephew he didn't know about. His house is now the Mystery Shack. And his reaction to that change is, you can stay for the summer for the sake of the kids, but then get out and the house is going back to the way I had it. Which, they're two, Ford has legitimate things to be angry about. Stan accidentally ruined his life twice. And at that point, it's not so much an accident as a tendency. Because Stan accidentally destroyed his perpetual motion machine, which, by the way, wow. I love the stuff around the perpetual motion machine because, first of all, because they're impossible. So that's pretty impressive, a high school kid building one. Second of all, the crack from the people from West Coast Tech that were like, the whole point of a perpetual motion machine is that it doesn't stop, or whatever they said. That was quite funny. And also just the fact that it's not just that he didn't get into the school of his choice. A perpetual motion machine would completely change the planet, especially one cheap enough for a high school student to build it for a science fair. Like, if it's that cheap and relatively easy to build, that would change the entire world forever, because perpetual motion means infinite energy. We would never have to burn coal or oil. We wouldn't need to build solar panels or anything. You could power anything off of whatever the heck it is that keeps the perpetual motion machine moving, even in the face of, friction. Because that system they showed has a lot of friction going on. Internal friction from the rotation and air friction and so on. So it must be perpetual. It must have a perpetual supply of energy to be capable of perpetual motion. And it doesn't matter if it's a relatively small amount of energy. You can build 1 million of those to power a city. If you probably cheaper than building a nuclear power plant. Certainly in the long run, because you will never need fuel ever. Anyway, point is, one thing the two brothers have in common is selfishness. Ford, after it doesn't get him into the school he wants, he doesn't build a perpetual motion machine again. So there's the whole world screwed out of this amazing opportunity. Because Ford didn't get anything out of it. He is, in his own way, as selfish as Stan is. And that's going to play into their conflict, too. He wants back what was taken from him. That's what's important to him. Getting back what was taken from him. Stan, meanwhile, that's kind of what he wants, too. He wants his brother back. And a lot of his anger in the past, and in that fight they have, is his brother finally reaches out to him again, and it's just because he wants him to do this bizarre task that he doesn't understand. And again, Stan accidentally sends Ford, Stan accidentally ruins Ford's life. And takes it from him. And so Ford is really angry about that. Stan has taken Ford's identity. He's not just ruined his life, he's stolen it. And so it's understandable that Ford's very angry about that. So all of this is kind of piling together into a conflict. Now, obviously, this is a Disney show, so either one of them will heroically sacrifice themselves, or both, or they'll reconcile in some way, because Disney. I'll be curious to see, though, what form that takes. Clearly, something is still coming. McGuckin made that little prophecy after he saw into the dimension of weirdness, whatever it is. And that's happened. Gravity fall and Earth meets sky, that's the activation of the portal. That's, gravity falling in the sense of failing, being defeated, and Earth meeting sky as things rise up. So bad stuff happens. I'm guessing it's to do with Bill, since the portal does. So, the portal is that triangle with the eye in it. I'm guessing it's to do with Bill coming into this world more fully than he has before. In fact, the portal may well link to that dream realm. That would actually make a lot of sense for the strangeness of Gravity Falls if the weakness is between this world and some sort of mindscape. Then it would make sense why so much of the weirdness in Gravity Falls is folkloric. And frankly, given that they're living right on top of it, maybe that's why so much of it is connected with Dipper and Mabel's, fantasies. Because in it, some of it has been weird creatures, many of them folkloric things like gnomes. But a lot of it has been Mabel's kind of fantasy life going in weird directions. The big one being the boy band episode, but also, Mermando and things of that nature might also have something to do with it. I don't know. Still, good episode. Clearly, bad things are coming in the remaining slightly less than half a season. Entertainingly bad things, apocalyptic things. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of it. So, thanks again. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, check out my Patreon for early access to more videos, essays, and even more. Comment, like, subscribe, etc. And I hope to see you all next time. Bye!